We were supposed to. I'm going to give you a bit of a gist of what we are expecting with regards to documentation from this committee. Since seeing that we already have ample number of moderate caucus left that can be discussed, I am hoping so. And again, since we have the holder tomorrow, we have ample time that we can actually get down to making a draft resolution and discussing one. Again, it would be up to the discussion of the committee how they'd like to proceed with it. Just a few alternative ways that I'd like to put forward in front of the committee. If you all want to make a note of it, you all can. It's preferable to just make sure that you all have a consensus among yourself and choose one to proceed with. It's the best for the committee. So essentially, WHA can end up making a resolution if you all want to. Uh, that's one thing you all can go about it, of course. Uh, with regards, if you all have decided on making a draft resolution, what's important is all right. Essentially, if there are any first timers who don't know or someone who doesn't know, I'll just give you a bit of it. A draft resolution is nothing but a set of solutions that the committee makes or suggests to as a whole. So essentially, you have an agenda, you have an issue at hand, the solutions and recommendations that you're going to make at the end of it and compile it in form of a documentation for everyone to implement is what is called a draft resolution. There's a certain format to it that you all have to follow. That again, I'll provide to you. So, with regards to draft resolution, how it's supposed to be made, what format is supposed to be followed, I'll put that all in the chat box in a while. I'll give you a sample of it. Probably the vice chairperson or the rapporteur will provide the sample on the WhatsApp group as well, so you all can refer to it with regards to resolution. So what's important with draft resolution is that if you're making one, you all can also make a working paper along with it. Working paper can be made in form of block or individually. Working paper is nothing but a draft or a rough version of the draft resolution. It's that simple. So in case if you all want to have send in individual solutions, if you all want to send in individual inputs, you all can make a working paper individually and send it to us. I'll provide again. I've provided my email ID yesterday as well. I'll drop it again in the chat box along with Nitya's, the vice chairpersons, and the rapporteurs. You all can send it all to us and tag all three of us in that mail itself. That'll help us mark you all. So you all can send working papers individually or as blocks. And then later on in the day, also make draft resolution, and those points can or cannot be included in the draft resolution that's being made. Again, if a draft resolution is being made, it's a mandatory thing that's supposed to happen in the committee. But a working paper is optional. It's not mandatory for everyone to send, but you all can do it for better marking, a better clarification as to what points were given by which delegates, and it also helps us to mark clearly. So that's just two aspects. Another way that the committee can go about is going for a press release of sorts. So a press release was essentially contain a summary of whatever happened in the committee, whatever points you all agreed upon or disagreed upon. Again, remember that press release is usually unanimous for sort of a document. It's not supposed to be. They're not supposed to be multiple press releases. There will be one. Might have different views, but again, like one block might state different facts and another block might state different facts, and they all might be included in the press release. So that's with regards to a press, like you're releasing those news or key points to the media. It's that simple if you want to perceive it that way or see it that way. Again, with regards to draft resolution, you can have multiple draft resolutions. That's the key point of it. Each draft resolution will represent a certain point of view or a certain beliefs or how you see it. That would be the key point of a draft resolution individually. Again, do remember, do not put in like contradicting views in a draft resolution. A draft resolution as a whole is supposed to show or exhibit one point of view or one belief. That's the key point of a draft resolution. The third thing, of course, is an option of making a report of sorts. Report, what do you make is like what are the findings by the World Health Assembly? What are the current status, different countries putting in their stats, the facts, and what do they believe in. If they're pointing towards a certain fact, let's say So a report essentially contains mostly of facts and figures and beliefs and theories or whatever you all might want to call it. But again, it's mostly factual based. Even if the theories are being made, they are not like just theories. They are backed by facts or evidences that have been found out, and accordingly suggestive theories are being made. So a report in general, whatever you might have read about otherwise as well in different committees, what you'll see is just facts coming together and making a certain conclusion from it. So you can use that to point out certain things that you believe in, your blog believes in, or otherwise. So again, there can be multiple reports of from a committee. They might or might not be published. It depends upon the majority of the committee. So it's similar to a draft resolution, but a draft resolution gives out measures to what should happen. A report, on the other hand, gives out findings of sorts and not any other thing. So those are the three formats that we would accept in the committee. Those are the three formats or three options that I can suggest. One thing that I can allow with all of you is that irrespective of what mode of documentation you all are going with, the working paper option is available to everyone. It's like you all can go for it individually or as a block. It's not mandatory repeating it time and again. It's an optional sort of document, but again, it would only affect, it would only enhance whatever sort of documentation you're making on an individual level. So those are the key points to it. Now go ahead, you all can ask your doubts one by one, raise your hands and we'll address it. Simply raise your hand, whoever has it out, and I'll take one by one. If you all don't want to ask it verbally, you all want to ask it via chat, I'm available via chat. I'll answer it there and there. Not a problem. And I can continue with the committee. Otherwise, if you all want to ask it verbally, you can raise your hands and I'll clarify it. I'll just wait for another minute if someone wants to raise their hands, or otherwise, I'll be coming to chat and I will be taking over.
Perfect. So there's a question in the chat. What is a draft resolution? So I would like to explain it. So let's just continue.
Sorry, what, Nitya?
There's a question in the chat. What is a draft resolution? So would you like to explain it, or would you answer it via the
हाँ
chat
आप
itself?
समझा दो.
Okay, so basically, delegate a draft resolution is nothing but a solution paper. You jot down the solutions that you want to propose as a committee to the United Nations. Now, it has two parts. One is the operative clause, and the other is the preambulatory clauses. The preambulatory clauses are nothing but the past UN actions and conventions and steps that have been taken forth, and the operative clause is something that you would like to suggest as a committee. So basically, all in all, you try to propose solutions in a definite format. That's it. There's nothing more in a draft resolution. If you want, I'll try to drop a sample of a draft resolution to WhatsApp group. So apart from that, if you guys have any questions, just ask them. Otherwise, we'll start with the committee. Okay, perfect. Seeing none. Atif sir, till where did the GSL happen before the break? Because like I got disconnected.
Yeah, just a second. I think Nigeria was the last speaker.
Chair, I've already spoken.
All
Yeah,
right.
Nigeria did speak, and I guess UAE also spoke, if I'm not wrong. UAE, can you
Yeah,
confirm it?
Nigeria was after UAE, so I guess you must have
All right,
spoken.
perfect then.
So the next speaker on the list is the delegate of Hungary. Delegate of Hungary, are you here? Delegate of Hungary. All right. Moving forward, the next delegate is the delegate of Germany. Okay, delegate of Hungary is here. Do you wish to speak, delegate of Hungary?
I do not wish to speak.
All right, no issues. Delegate of Germany, are you here?
Yes, I'm here. Am I audible?
Yes.
All right. Thank you for the recognition, Chair. Dear delegates, COVID-19 pandemic continues to rage its fury across the globe, infecting over 48 million and causing a global economic downturn on its way. A collapse in global demand for new cars, one of Germany's main exports, is threatening jobs in the car industry. The German Automotive Industry Association stated that around 100,000 jobs are at risk in the sector due to enduring low demand. The travel industry in Germany remains highly impacted, with 88% of the travel and tour operations on Kurzarbeit, as well as 71% of hotels. According to Germany for Economic Institutes in Munich, 37% of all companies surveyed still had their workers on short time hours in August due to a 42% fall in June. Whilst Germany has not given a concrete view on the matter of COVID 19 being a biological weapon in impacting this, it is looking forward towards finding solutions on the matter and in a diplomatic manner, as well as charging the ones responsible accordingly. Thank you.
Thank you, Delegate. You have around 17 seconds left on the clock. How would you like to yield it?
Uh, I would like to yield the time to points of inquiry.
Thank you so much, Delegate. So all those delegates are wishing to ask points of information to the Delegate of Germany. Please raise your hand virtually. Delegates, anyone? Uh, okay, guys, come on. We encourage you to ask points of information because at the end of the day, you get marked for it, of course. And also, verbal POIs give more substance to the committee than writing them via chat. All right, Delegate of UAE, go ahead.
Yes, so
UAE
my
followed by
question
Turkey.
was that what is the reason that Germany is not very clear on the decision of who do they support in terms of the COVID-19 pandemic?
Not why, but it is what. When you look at a stance of a country, we do not have enough information to tilt towards one side or another. Although we are urging countries for transparency, and we are trying to look in the matter as further suggested by the EB previously. Germany has brought in evidence from both sides and is still looking into the matter and on which side it should be, although it is currently working together and wants to work towards finding solutions towards COVID 19 as well as battle the economic downturn together globally.
All
Um,
right, thank you, Delegate. Next, we have the Delegate of Turkey who's recognized. Go ahead, Turkey.
so as you clearly said that you had problems in exporting cars. So, but the cars were still being made, and some countries were still getting the cars. So, like you had problem in sales or what?
It wasn't sales, as you know, German cars are extremely popular globally. Although the problem was due to the economic changes that the pandemic has brought along with it, the demand and supply curve has been flattened. So the demand for cars have gone down. Hence, the Germans wouldn't export as much comparatively to the how much they used to export before the fall of the pandemic.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Delegate. Delegate of Malaysia and Delegate of Iceland. Do you have a point of information to the Delegate of Germany, or do you have some other point?
I have
A
a
point of
I have a
information.
question to him.
A point of information, right? So, okay, we'll be taking Iceland's point of information.
You clearly stated like the impact of like the car industry for Germany.
Could you just elaborate more like on the economic loss or job loss or for what happened for
I
when
have
cars
also
are not
mentioned,
exported?
yeah, so in my speech, I'm sorry if you misheard, but I had also mentioned how workers had short time hours in August and this went down by 42%, and how 88% of travel and tour operators on cruise abate, as well as 71% of hotels. So yeah, and 100,000 jobs are at risk in the sector due to low demand. I had mentioned this in my speech. I'm sorry if you
I
didn't hear that.
also I also asked the economic impact, not just jobs.
Impact, if you look at it, cars are mentioned as one of Germany's main exports. And it is not only Germany facing this economic impact, it is also the globe. Germany currently is a thriving economy, although due to the COVID-19 pandemic, the rate has been slowed down. If you want me to give statistics, I can give it to you in 2 minutes.
All right.
So that's fine.
Thank you, Radhika. Thank you so much. Delegates Malaysia and Iceland, please throw down your hand. Now, delegates, at this point, we'd be looking for points in motion. So, delegates, if you have any points, kindly raise your hand virtually.
Point of parliamentary inquiry. Is this for points or motions?
The points.
Oh, all right.
Delegates, if you have any points, please raise your hand virtually. Seeing none, are there any motions on the floor, delegates? Please raise your hand virtually. Delegates, first of all, please rename yourself with your portfolio. All right, we'll be taking the delegate of Turkey, followed by New Zealand. Go ahead, Turkey.
The delegate of Turkey would like to suspend formal debate and enter a moderated caucus on the topic being a solution to stop the production and storing and usage of biological weapons for the total time being 20 minutes and each speaker time being 1 minute.
All right, thank you, delegate. Delegate of New Zealand, your motion.
The delegate of New Zealand would like to suspend formal debate and enter into a moderated caucus on the topic response to COVID-19 for a total time of 15 minutes and individual speaker time of 1 minute.
All right, delegate. That motion is in order. We will first of all be voting upon the motion raised by the delegate of Turkey. First of all, I request all the delegates to lower down their hands. So we will be voting upon the motion raised by the Director of Turkey, which is for a moderated caucus on the topic solution for stopping the production and storage of biological weapons for a total time of 20 minutes and individual speakers time of 60 seconds. So delegates, are there any seconds to the motion? Please verbally say second.
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 Seeing seconds. Seeing seconds, delegates, are there any oppositions to the motion? Please verbally say opposition.
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 All right. Seeing seconds in opposition both, we would put the motion to vote. Before that, New Zealand, Turkey, and Thailand, please lower down your hands.
Before
Director of
that, can you
Turkey, we're
just
waiting
can
for
you
you.
just repeat the motion once?
Yeah, I'll put it in the chat box. Just give me 1 second. All right. So delegates, all those delegates who are in favor of the motion, please raise your hand virtually. Okay, so we have 22 delegates in the committee, so the majority would stand at 12, but we have 8 fours. I'm again asking delegates for the motion. Please raise your hand virtually. Director Fazila already put the motion in the chat box. I'll put it again. Alright, delegates against? Delegates against, please raise your hand virtually. Okay, delegates, I'm saying this thing for I don't know the 100th time in these 2 days that you cannot abstain from voting in a procedural vote. You have to vote. A lot of delegates are not voting, and this way we'll never be able to go ahead with the committee. Okay, so please do vote. I'm again asking all the delegates who are against the motion, please raise your hand virtually. No, 4 delegates are still not voting. Okay. Aryan, do you mind taking a roll call vote?
Sure, sure. Okay,
Perfect.
1 second. Okay, so Delegate of Columbia, do you vote for or against this motion?
I vote for.
I'm sorry, your voice was not audible.
I'm voting for.
Okay, Delegate of Finland.
Yeah, I'm voting for as well.
Okay, Delegate of Hungary.
I'm voting for.
Delegate of Ireland.
I'm voting for.
Great. Delegate of Norway.
Voting for.
Delegate of New Zealand. Voting against. Okay, delegate. Delegate of Germany. Delegate of Germany. Is the delegate of Germany present in the committee?
About that.
I believe he is there.
Yeah,
Yes,
sorry.
Chair.
Delegate just messaged me. He said that he's having connectivity issues.
Yeah, I just got back. I was having some issues. Yeah, I am against this motion.
Okay, delegate. Delegate of Nigeria.
For.
Nigeria. For okay. Delegate of Delegate of France. Are you for or against this motion? Delegate of France. Is the delegate of France present in the committee? I believe. Yeah, I see. Is the delegate of France audible to any of you?
No, he isn't speaking. He is on mute. You can continue. It's okay.
Okay, delegate of Belgium. Delegate of Belgium, are you?
I'm for the motion.
Okay, delegate. Delegate of Jordan.
For this motion.
Okay. Delegate of Sri Lanka.
Against the motion.
Against the motion. Alright. Delegate of Canada, followed by Indonesia.
Against this motion.
Delegate of Indonesia.
Voting.
Okay. Delegate of Bangladesh.
Voting against.
Against. Okay. Delegate of Turkey.
For.
Okay. Delegate of UAE.
For.
Okay. Delegate of Uruguay.
I'm with the motion.
Okay. Delegate of Thailand.
With the motion.
Okay. Delegate of Brazil. Delegate of Brazil. Um, okay. Delegate of the United States of America.
What is the motion? Means
Um, the motion is in the chat box. It's a moderated caucus, I think, for the topic solutions for stopping production and storage of biological weapons.
For.
Okay. Wait, sorry. Delegate of USA. Hmm, okay. I don't think the delegate of USA is in the meeting. Um, okay, delegate of Iceland.
Against.
Okay. And delegate of Italy.
Against.
Okay, and delegate of PRC, it was a guest. Sorry, my bad. Okay. Okay, so that gives us. Oh wait, but we still have one. Um, Someone abstained, I think, from the vote.
France did, and we have 22 people, right? So France did not vote.
I wrote it in the chat box. I forgot to answer that time.
Okay.
Could you repeat that again? I cannot find it in the chat. Are you for or against the motion?
Against. Against.
Okay.
So
I think
23
the
delegates
delegate
voted.
is joining.
Okay, no issues. This motion 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay,
Passes.
this motion passes. Since we have a simple majority, so we are now into a moderated caucus. This motion was raised by the delegate of Turkey. So Turkey, do you wish to be the first speaker?
Yes.
You wish to be first speaker, Turkey?
No, I'll go, like, I'll preserve my spot.
Perfect, no issues. So delegates, all those who are wishing to add their names to this particular moderated caucus, please raise your hand virtually. All right, we'll be taking the delegate of Belgium, followed by the delegate of UAE, followed by the delegate of Nigeria, followed by the delegate of Germany, followed by Thailand. Delegates, once you recognize, please lower down your hand. Followed by Turkey, followed by the delegate of Malaysia. Yes, delegate of USA.
Yeah, actually, I joined in late due to some issues. Can you just tell me what's going on in the community?
Right. So no, go ahead, Arun.
Okay. So this is a motion for a moderated caucus was just passed. The topic is in the chat. It's solutions for stopping production and storage of biological weapons. The motion was passed by simple majority.
Yeah, can you repeat the more topic, please? Actually, I cannot view the chat.
I'll put it in the chat box again. No issue.
Great.
Right. Also, the delegate of Malaysia was recognized. After that, we'll be taking the delegate of New Zealand, followed by the delegate of Ireland, followed by the delegate of um, Iceland, followed by the delegate of USA, followed by the delegate of Brazil. That would be it for now. We'll be taking more speakers later. The delegate of Belgium, you have the floor for the next 60 seconds.
A point of parliamentary inquiry.
Yes, sir.
Can you put the names of the
I'll do
countries?
that. I'll do that. Yeah, give me just 1 second and make it. Delegate of Belgium, are you here? Okay, no issues.
Can you 5-10 minutes?
All right. I'll take you after two or three speakers. Delegate of UAE, delegate of UAE.
Yes.
You have the floor for the next 60 seconds. Let's go ahead.
Okay, so some solutions for stopping the production and storage of biological weapons would be that we should stop manufacturing them. Like in UAE, there is no history of them having manufactured any biological weapons or stored any. But other countries, to maintain peace in the world, they should stop producing biological weapons only. That will lead to the uh, loss of storage, because when there will be no biological weapons, you can't really store them. And for stopping the production, we could the WHO could conduct like the WHO could like conduct some regular checks, and to see that if there is biological weapons getting manufactured like sneakily. And they could also do some campaigns that help countries understand why it is important not to manufacture biological weapons.
Delegate, please wrap it.
Thank you, it's done.
Perfect. So next on the list is the delegate of Nigeria.
Yeah. Thank you, Abby, for the recognition. We can never make an ideal framework to defend against psychological militant utilization of an organic specialist or bioweapon. However, honest arrangement further degree that spending plans and accessible strategies permit will lessen nervousness and incredibly alleviate the outcomes of a real assault. A piece of that readiness ought to include innovative work on required devices and approaches. These incorporate demonstrating strategies, bioforcences techniques for characterizing dangers, explicit and expansive range anti-infection, and novel antiviral specialists, and mean for quick immunization handling. When an assault has happened, a more ready and forfeited well-being and agribusiness reaction framework will be required, as will be a solid and steady correspondence plan. For those uncovered, conventions for treatment and sterilization must be accessible. Also, for creature and plant introductions, a successful removal and sterilization plan must be set up. The Nigerian government strongly believes these are all crucial for a better place and a better way to reduce
Delegate, please
bioweapons.
wrap
Thank
up.
you.
Perfect. Delegate of Germany, you have the floor for the next 60 seconds.
I'm sorry, what? I got disconnected for like 2 minutes. But yeah, is
Um,
this?
yes, it is a moderated caucus speech. Can you speak right now?
All right, sure. Thank you. Thank you for the recognition, EB. Dear delegates, biological weapons are extremely powerful weapons and in the wrong hands can lead to acts of terror with catastrophic events. The solution put forth by Germany to prevent the harvesting of weapons is to provide an agreement reclaiming precautionary actions to be taken by WHO and Interpol around all level 4 biosafety labs globally, including a full sweep of the lab in Wuhan. This will allow for certain areas in the city that consist of biosafety labs to be under the jurisdiction of the WHO in collaboration with Interpol. The agreement will lead to deriving the origin of certain viruses as well as keeping sure that there are not any deliberate harvesting of biological weapons. Whilst the collaboration of WHO with Interpol will allow for further punishments as well as secondary actions against those who practice this act. Overall, this will further allow for the investigation into the COVID 19 situation currently, allowing to punish or relieve the ones responsible for the act, whilst also preventing the outbreak of another epidemic or pandemic in the future. Thank you.
Thank you, Delegate. You will have the time. Delegate Thailand, you have the floor.
In spite of these challenges, the US government has options for increasing the likelihood that biological attacks can be prevented through maintaining international norms and improving the security camera system. The international community banned the use of chemical and biological weapons after World War One. Bioweapon can cause massive destruction, social disruption, economic loss, and environmental problems as a mean of warfare and terrorism. Biological weapons are difficult to handle after release because they are infectious and they could be contagious also.
Delegate, are you done?
Yes.
Perfect. Next we have Delegate Turkey.
Thank you for the recognition. So, we can prevent these storage and making of production of biological weapons by like having frequent um, like inspections by the country or by the WHO, and there should like almost all countries should sign the BWC, the Biological Weapons Convention. So it would maintain peace. And yeah, thank you.
Is that it, Delegate?
Yes.
Perfect. Next we have the Delegate of Malaysia.
Yeah. So basically, I'm just gonna read and say so. Yeah. Okay, so the Malaysian government, like I've researched on it, so the Malaysian government says that the biological weapons they should be not be like allowed because it can destroy nations for like a lot of time, which can affect their economy, and like that's the major reason why like the biological weapons should like stop being produced. And also the biological weapons, if they're stored, if like they could basically be harmed like as our country believes that COVID was actually not released by China, but it was stored by China in Wuhan and it had spread. So yeah, so that could also happen like COVID. So it becomes a really big problem for the countries who are getting developed and also the countries who are being developed. The
Please
whole
wrap
world.
up, Delegate.
Yeah, thank you.
Perfect. Next we have the Delegate of New Zealand.
Before that, Delegate of Malaysia, can I make a small clarification?
Yeah.
So, the topic for the mod talk was solutions for stopping production and storage of biological weapons. I think I misheard you, but what solution did you offer?
Actually, I didn't like give a solution. I thought the topic was like why should it be stopped, not solutions. So
Okay. I'll just note the topic of the mod caucus in the chat.
Actually, I
Perfect,
didn't.
delegate. It's alright, we'll be entertaining more speakers, so you might get a chance to speak again as we have like space for 7 more speakers. So we'll be taking them later on. Anyways, Delegate of New Zealand, you have to go.
Good afternoon, respected chair and fellow delegates. Thank you for the recognition. New Zealand firmly believes that biological weapons are a weapon of mass destruction, as listed on our national website. We believe that biological weapons are as destructive as a nuclear weapon. In order to regulate the production and storing of such weapons, New Zealand suggests each and every country sign a treaty such as the Biological Weapons Convention. There are a few countries around the world that haven't done it yet. However, this convention must have way stricter rules, as some countries to this day still produce biological weapons. Furthermore, New Zealand proposes the establishment of a treaty underneath the World Health Organization to regulate the production of such destructive weapons. This is important as the World Health Organization has other pressing matters to deal with at the moment. Furthermore, this treaty will create safety measures and plans in case countries do decide to use a biological weapon at the worst case scenario. That's all for New Zealand.
Alright, thank you, Delegate. Next, we have the Delegate of Ireland.
Thank you for your recognition. Am I audible? One solution is to hinder the stockpiling and production of biological weapons is improving surveillance systems in order to discover production or stockpiles of biological weapons. You can also help with those governments with large amounts of influence in the world can threaten or to not trade or cooperate with countries if they are discovered to have biological weapons, which would damage their country's economics. For those governments with lesser influence, a solution is to cooperate with other countries and organizations like the World Health Organization to put pressure on those countries that are suspected to have biological weapons to sign treaties like the PTWC. We also need to create an agreement to not cooperate with countries that have biological weapons. So the risk of economic loss would deter countries from storing or producing biological weapons.
Please wrap up, Delegate.
That's it.
Alright, thank you. Next, we have the Delegate of Iceland.
So am I audible?
Yes, Delegate.
Thank you, Evie, for the recognition. We are all aware of what damage a biological weapon is capable of dealing to a country, continent, or even the world. In reality, Iceland is not a country known for producing biological weapons. Even then, there are enough ways to stop producing these dangerous weapons, such as the UN and WHO reflecting and having a discussion upon the 1972 Biological Weapons Convention, the UN and countries themselves taking secondary actions if anyone uses biological weapons or if caught in the possession of one, for countries to reflect upon whether they would use this way of killing mankind and stop productions by themselves, for strict checks to definitely be taken from the UN and WHO, as some countries have disobeyed the rules of the 1972 Biological Weapons Convention in the past. All Iceland can suggest is that biological weapons are unethical and we do not support or approve of its usage. Thank you.
Delegate Rappa. Alright. Delegate of USA, you have the floor.
Thank you so much for the recognition. It is an unfortunate fact that we cannot secure peace. We can secure peace only by preparing for war. But we do need a little change of perspective here. The Convention of the Prohibition of Development, Production, and Stockpiling of Bacteriological and Biological Toxin Weapons or mass destruction forms the foundation of international biological arms control regime. These terms should be revised and should be adhered with more strictness. Then governmental organizations to cooperate with non-governmental organizations to prevent the susceptibility of any further outbreaks, may it be from any sources. Then prevention of then nations should strengthen the deterrence of biological weapons by expanding the ability to reduce consequences of planned attacks by increasing investments in surveillance, maybe microbial financial capacities. Then periodic inspections to be performed by international bodies like the WHO and should be renounced in each and every nation in order to make sure that there's no storage of any such ethical norms of biological means or chemical means as well. Then prevention and development of biological weapons should be the top priority of all the nations, which will further prevent any further surveillance in the nation. Thank you.
Thank you, Delegate. Next, we have the right to Brazil.
And can I do it after Belgium?
Should I start?
All right, sure. Belgium, go ahead.
Yeah, so we can never create a perfect system to safeguard against terrorist use of biological agent, but concise preparation to the greatest extent that budgets and available methods allow will reduce anxiety and greatly mitigate the consequences of an actual act. Part of preparation should involve research and development on needed tools and approaches. The assessment of bioterrorism threats and motives have been described by many of us already. Biocrime implies the use of a biological agent to kill or many people make many people ill or or small group of individuals motivated by revenge or desire for monetary gain by extortion rather than by a political, ideological, religious or other beliefs. The likelihood of a successful bioterrorism attack can be very large, as seen in the case of COVID-19 attack. Measures aimed at enhancing diagnostic and therapeutic capabilities and capacity.
Delegate Sabat.
Sorry. Hello. Yeah.
Just wrap
Measures.
up, like finish your point.
Okay. Capabilities and capacities alongside training and education will improve the ability to of society to combat regular infectious diseases outbreaks. Awareness amongst the humankind, voicing what their opinion on such acts, countries' participation equally to control these acts and bodies formed, especially like BWC, will help the society to large prevent to the storage and production of bi- uh, s- bioterrorism. Thank you.
Um, Arthur, sir, I think Nitya ma'am's having some troubles. Should we begin?
Sorry, I got disconnected. All right, Delegate of Brazil, you have the floor. Delegate of Brazil, are you there?
Okay, let's start.
So so we propose measures to strengthen international security standard on the storage and transport of fissile materials, stop the spread of facilities capable of, producing fissile materials, reprocessing and enrichment plants, and verifiably uh, verifiably the production of, fissile materials for weapons, dispose the excess weapons and civilian civilian fissile materials, and phase out the use of HEU and a reactor fuel as a reactor fuel. Uh,
All right, Dagger, time has elapsed. Thank you so much. Okay, so we have a few like caucus for 20 speakers, so we can still entertain a few more speakers. Is there anyone who has not spoken in this moderate caucus? However, they wish to speak, please raise your hand. All right, we'll take Dialect of Uruguay. Anybody else? Seeing no new speakers, anyone who has already spoken in this moderate caucus, however they wish to speak again, you can raise your hand. We'll take Dialect of Nigeria. Anybody else?
Point of parliamentary inquiry. This is for what? Like the moderated caucus, right?
Yes, sir.
Or yes, thank you.
Okay,
Point
so
of
we'll just
parliamentary
take.
inquiry.
Yes, ma'am.
What's the topic for this? Is this a new one or is this the same one?
It is the same moderated caucus. We only recognized 13 speakers earlier. That means we still have space for 7 more speakers. So I was just recognizing other people. However, if no one wishes to speak, we'll just take the speeches of Uruguay and Nigeria and then we'll end the moderated caucus.
Delegates,
Okay.
if you wish to speak, you can also address some of the points the other delegates made and build up on that or talk about that if that helps you. But if since we have space for 7 more speakers, we'd appreciate it if some more if you said gave your name.
Nitya,
Yes, ma'am.
I think Naman was talking and you got disconnected. Do you want to give him a chance again?
Ma'am, I actually got disconnected in the very end. I heard his speech and I was calling out the next speaker. I heard the entire speech and I've marked it. No issues.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so we just take the delegate of Uruguay and Nigeria then. Delegate of Uruguay, you have the floor. Delegate of Uruguay, you there? Okay, no issues. Delegate of Nigeria.
Thank you, VP, for the recognition. So we've been hearing a lot of points talking about building up on policies, creating more policies, and I agree with all of those points. But I think there has to be a better response action towards these bioweapons because we may not be able to find a perfect slot, you can say, to the like a solution to the problem of usage of bioweapons, but the action which is taken by governments and the response by WHO and other organizations can definitely be taken care of. So, modeling likely outcomes of different bioterrorism attacks is important for two reasons. It basically provides an insight to the severity of the threat posed. So, whatever the bioterrorist attack is, it shows what is the threat and how you can deal with it. But at the same time, it also it allows one to estimate the amount of it's going to spread or how much action one can take to actually reduce what the situation. So such efforts should actually mainly come from NIH, CDC, or DoD, as then it will really reduce the impact which is causing the bioterrorism attacks, and hopefully, in a result, reducing the amount of attacks that actually happen. Thank you.
Thank you, Delegate. Delegate UAE, do you have a point or do you wish to speak in this Model Caucus?
I wish to speak again.
Go ahead.
So, there are fundamental issues that make prevention of these biological weapons difficult. However, the knowledge, the materials, and the technologies needed to make a biological weapon are readily accessible around the world. Pathogens are very accessible in nature, and they can be found anywhere in a hospital and research laboratories, scientific culture collections, and in sick people and animals everywhere. It is now possible to synthesize pathogens from scratch, particularly viruses, with technologies that are inexpensive and globally available. The skills for and equipment for making a biological weapon are largely the same as those required for progress in medicine, agriculture, and other fields for future economic and prosperity for the nation. So they cannot be locked away. Efforts that might be useful in deterring the biological terrorist groups will be different than those targeted towards nations. To prevent the use of biological weapons and the production, what we could do is we could stop selling the we could stop selling the in the technologies and
Wrap up.
materials needed to make a biological weapon, as right now they are currently very accessible, so anybody could just take the materials. But if the materials are very hard to access, the biological weapons won't be
Delegate, wrap
created.
up.
Thank you.
Perfect. Delegate of Nigeria, to what point you raise?
Can I give a point of information towards Delegate of UAE?
No, we don't really entertain POIs that's it. POIs in the Model Caucus. However, if you want, since we still have space for three more speakers, you can give a speech again and make the point in your speech.
Okay, thank you.
So, do you wish to go again?
No, thank you. I'm fine.
All right, no issues. So, okay. Is there anybody else who wishes to speak in this Model Caucus? Seeing no one, we would just declare an end to this Model Caucus and we would be reverting back to the CSR. One second.
A point of parliamentary inquiry.
Yes, Delegate.
How many countries in the GSL will you entertain before asking for motions?
Two.
All right, thank you.
Perfect. So, all right. Delegate of Germany, did you give your GSL?
Yes, I was the last one to give my
Yes,
GSL.
exactly. Perfect. Perfect. So the next speaker is Ireland, but considering Ireland is last in the GSL list, so we would first be taking more speakers. Although we were wishing to add their name to the GSL, please raise your hand.
Point of parliamentary inquiry.
Yes, Delegate.
Yeah, will it be possible if we might get an unmod?
Okay, so we can have one or two GSLs and then you can raise a motion for the unmod. Would that work?
Yeah, I think that would work.
Yeah, of course.
Perfect. Delegates, again asking, all those who are wishing to add their name to the GSL, please raise your hand. See, we only have one speaker in the GSL, and if they speak, the GSL list is exhausted, the committee ends then and there. Because the GSL is supposed to be inexhaustible. So I request you to please add your name to the GSL. Again asking, all those who are willing to add, please raise your hand virtually. Alright, we'll take the delegate of Nigeria. Anybody else? Delegates, if you have any sort of so all the questions, all the statements that you're making via chits, that you're sending via substantive chits maybe or through POIs, you have the chance to ask questions to the delegates and okay, delegate C. I'm saying
Point
this
of
again.
personal privilege.
Yes, delegate.
I couldn't hear anything that you said during the end.
I was just saying that if you exhaust the GSL list, the committee would end then and there, which does not make sense. And secondly, if you have any sort of substance that you want to say in the committee, you can say it in GSL, considering a GSL does not have a topic. So everything that you're sending via your POIs and substantive sits maybe, say that in the verbatim. At least it gets marked better than a chit.
Point of parliamentary
So
inquiry.
yes,
Can my
delegate.
name be added into GSL?
Yes, I'll do that. So at present we have the delegate of Ireland, followed by the delegate of Nigeria, followed by the delegate of New Zealand, followed by the delegate of United States of America, followed by the delegate of UAE. Any other delegate? Followed by the delegate of Germany. Anyone else? Okay, no issues. So delegate of Ireland, you have the floor for the next 9 seconds. Delegate of Ireland, are you there?
Yes.
No, the delegate of Ireland,
Yes.
not Thailand. Right, delegates to GSL speech.
I'm having some technical difficulties. I cannot hear you. Could we continue to the next speaker?
Perfect, so no issues. Before we go ahead, delegate of Bangladesh and UAE, do you have a point?
No, sorry, I forgot to lower my hand.
Alright, delegate of Germany, do you have a point?
Yeah, I had a point of personal privilege. In the end, I couldn't hear whether you said my name. So could you please
Yes,
post
you were
the
recognized, delegate.
alright and point of parliamentary inquiry also? Can you please post the list in the chat?
Yes, delegate, I'll do that.
Thank you.
Okay, delegate of Nigeria, you have the floor. The next 9 seconds.
Thank you, Evie, for the recognition. So in the mod, I was talking about a couple of solutions, but there are another recommendations which can be taken forward to reduce the amount of bioterrorism that actually happens. One of them being agencies with relevant expertise, again, NIH, CDC, and DoD, they can develop and they can support development models which are taking in account of range of incubation periods. This will also include transmission dynamics and variables of climate, population, and migration. This will basically help simulate the release of contagious and non contagious agents. Such modeling may resolve many of the uncertainties about the effects of biological weapons. This will also basically just have a lot of mechanisms of pathogens and will also remain a better way to kind of see and create a prevention plan further on if any of these bioterrorism attacks do happen. One of the delegates had spoken about reducing the availability of things which are used in them. But then again, some of those things are also rights for a human. So you can't violate those human rights by reducing the amount of stuff which is used, because some of them could just be a violation of your human rights. Another one would be expanding investigations into the pathogens of infectious agents. This will review the state of knowledge and the mechanisms of pathogens of all biorist agents as a whole. Thank you.
Thank you, delegate. You have roughly 10 to 15 seconds on the clock. How would you like to yield it?
Points of information.
Perfect. Delegates wishing to ask points of information to delegate of Nigeria, can you raise your hand? Again, we would encourage you to ask points of information rather than sending them via chat because verbal POI is prohibited. Okay, we'll take the delegate of Iceland. No issues. Anybody else who's willing to ask? The same delegates over and over again. Anybody else? Okay, we'll take USA. We'll take USA followed by Iceland. Delegate USA, go ahead.
Uh, so you were talking about like the things used in a bioweapon and how some of them are very important. Like so, basically, could you please explain? Can you please give me some examples of those things
Um,
used in a bioweapon that are like important for humans?
Yeah, delegates. So, if it's something which a larger area or a larger state or something is doing, or a country, such as they don't only take the actually the bio what's causing the thing, like a virus or the anything else, but they also find out the solution towards it or the antidote, because they don't want their country to be affected. For example, if a country were supposed to actually have a bioterrorist attack, they probably would find a solution, because otherwise it would just backfire on them as it is. So those things which are used in the antidotes are also kind of like they're medicines which are a human, it's a right for human to actually availability for them, so it's a human right.
So your point is that they're basically medicines that
Delegate
we
of
use in our
Brazil,
day-to-day life.
delegate of Iceland, delegate of Iceland. Wait, first of all, when a delegate answer your POIs, you're supposed to raise a plead to follow up. If you want to cross question them again, you cannot speak out of turn unless and until you're recognized. All right.
Okay.
Okay. So the next delegate, yeah, you can go ahead with the question now.
I was saying that. Are you saying that those things are those medicines that we use in our day-to-day life that are sometimes using the antidotes, and also like sometimes while they accidentally create a virus?
What I'm trying to put through is that I've not studied exactly what's used for each and every bio terrorist attack and everything, but some of them may not be feasible, as it might be something which is a human right to be accessible towards. That's all I'm trying to say.
Okay, thank you.
Perfect, delegate. Thank you so much. Now at this point, we'll be looking for points and motions. First of all, Director of Iceland USA, kindly lower down your hand. Secondly, if there are any points on the floor, please raise your hand words for it. Director of Germany, go ahead.
The delegate of Germany. Oh no, sorry. For points or motions?
I'm taking points right now. Director of USA, to what point you raise?
Point of personal privilege. I think even I was recognized for a POI, but delegate of Iceland spoke before me, so I didn't get the
All
chance to
right.
first.
I am really sorry, David. That was actually a follow-up question. I thought that was a new question altogether. I'm really sorry. You can go ahead with your question. Sincere apologies.
Yeah, thank you. So, delegate of Nigeria, I hope you know that the Republic of Nigeria is actually quite unprepared to detect or have any attack utilizing bioweapons. Okay, detect any attack which involves utilization of bioweapons and other critical complexes because the government is not exactly fundable. So how do you look forward to prevent any bioterrorism within your nation? by proposing such solutions to other nations. I mean, first you need to look out for yourself too, right?
Yes, scores do suggest that Nigeria is not prepared to respond to the current COVID 19 pandemic, and most obviously evident for low testing rates, right? But Nigeria's current, like the Nigerian government has already taken numerous health, social, and economical measures to cushion the impact of COVID 19, which is also mentioned in figure 3 in any WHO report which you see at this point about Nigeria's COVID-19 response. The following was also taken up when the Ebola outbreak had happened, as even though the health ministers had not given an immediate reaction towards it, they had still had some amount of thing which had reduced it to the point where it did not spread any further. Also, Nigeria is not a very developed country, but a lot of the countries have started to fund, and Nigeria has started to work towards getting a better response action. But Nigeria has worked very closely with WHO to create a prevent and solution like a plan. So I think we're doing pretty well.
Delegate, are you open to a question from the executive board?
Yes.
So, delegate, which chemical or which biological weapons which are considered as dangerous as nuclear weapons, weapons of mass destruction, are come under the human rights for someone to possess? These same chemicals which can kill huge amounts of people and lead to epidemics and pandemics? It's
I
just a
decline to answer as I'm not sure. As I said, I've not really looked forward into it that deep, but I think it's a pretty human right essential.
Fair enough. But please note that I don't believe that any chemical and any biological weapon comes under the human rights of a human to possess, as they're only used for they're only used for literally using as biological weapons in previous wars and even.
Logged off.
Sorry, delegate.
I actually, sorry, Malaysia. I actually got logged off. So
Okay. Ma'am, all I'm saying is that there is no chemical, because all these chemicals which biological weapons are made of are deadly for all humans. So there is no chemical which comes under the human rights for human to possess. Nitya, ma'am, you can take over.
All right. Thank you, Aaron. So, yes, we were looking for points and motions. Since there were no points, Dalekis has any motions on the floor, you can raise your hand virtually. Okay. We'll take the delegate of Iceland, followed by the delegate of USA.
The delegate of Iceland would like to suspend formal debate and enter a moderated caucus on the topic response to COVID-19 for a total time of 16 minutes, individual speakers' time being 60 seconds.
All right, delegate. Okay. So next motion is by the Director of the United States of America.
Yeah, actually, I second her motion.
All right. Director of Germany or New Zealand. Do you have a different motion?
Yes, I do
Yes.
have a different motion.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so we'll take New Zealand's motion.
The delegate of New Zealand will like to suspend formal debate and enter into a unmoderated caucus for 20 minutes.
All right. Thank you, delegate. That motion is in order. So moving by the order of disruption, we would first be voting upon the motion raised by the delegate of New Zealand, which is for an unmoderated caucus of 20 minutes. So delegates, are there any seconds to the motion? Please verbally say second.
I second the motion.
Can you repeat the motion?
Yes,
seconds.
can you repeat the motion?
Seconds.
It's an unmoderated caucus for 20 minutes.
What's the topic?
Ma'am, an unmoderated caucus does not have a topic. So it's like an informal discussion where you can lobby around, you can form blocks, you can discuss how do you wish to take the committee forward. Maybe discuss the topic for your next mod, or maybe discuss how do you want to go about with the resolution process. All right. So delegates, are there any seconds to the motion? Please verbally say second.
I second.
I second.
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 Noted. Any oppositions, delegate? Please verbally say oppositions.
I am also in
Any
second.
oppositions? Okay, delegate. Any oppositions? Any?
Opposition.
Any? All right. Seeing seconds and oppositions both, we will be putting this motion to a formal voting. Considering you guys will again waste time where I'll have to ask three times who are for and who are against. So we'll simply go with the roll call voting again, which I think apparently would be faster. So over to you, Aryan.
Sure. Okay. Delegate of Columbia.
I'm for.
Okay. Delegate of Finland.
I'm also for.
Okay. Just 1 second. Yeah. Delegate of Hungary.
I'm for.
Delegate of Ireland.
For.
Delegate of Norway.
Four.
Delegate of New Zealand.
For the motion.
Delegate of Germany. Delegate of Germany. Delegate of Nigeria.
Sorry, point of person privilege. I wasn't able to hear my name. Was I called out previously? I remember
Yes.
being from Nigeria.
Yeah,
Yeah,
sir. Vote for or against the motion.
I vote for the motion.
Okay, great. Delegate of Nigeria. Are you for
For.
or against? For? Okay. Delegate of France. Delegate of France, are you for or against the motion? Okay, moving on. Delegate of Belgium.
I'm for the motion.
Okay. Delegate of Jordan.
I'm for the motion.
Delegate of Sri Lanka. Delegate of Sri Lanka, are you for or against the motion? Guys, all you have to say is for or against. Delegate of Canada.
For the motion.
Delegate of Indonesia.
Four.
Delegate of Australia. I believe delegate of Australia is absent. My bad. Delegate of Bangladesh.
For.
Great. Delegate of Turkey.
Four.
Delegate of UAE. Delegate of UAE. Okay. Delegate of Uruguay. Delegate of Uruguay.
Point of personal
I'm
privilege.
with the motion.
What delegate?
I'm with the motion.
A
Okay.
point of personal privilege.
Yes, delegate.
Yes.
My internet had gone for a moment, so I wasn't able to hear if my name was called or not.
Yes, ma'am. What is your Are you for or against the motion?
For.
Okay, great.
I think so. Mine was not even called. Malaysia.
Delegate, we aren't finished with the list yet. But okay, delegate of Malaysia. Sorry. Are you for or against the motion?
Yeah, I'm for.
Okay, sorry. My bad. Delegate of Uruguay. You said for, right? Yeah, I believe so. Delegate of Thailand.
Never mind, we have enough fours even if all of the
I am
rest
for the
delegates oppose, the
motion.
motion still passes. So never mind, the motion passes. Delegates, you are in an unmoderated caucus. Just a suggestion, try it tomorrow and like for whatever time is left. You are utilizing more of your time on debating rather than passing a motion. Like you guys waste so much time in passing a motion that if we combine all of that time, you could have an entirely new moderated caucus.
Yeah.
So
And there's
please
still a
don't
lot
do that.
left to discuss.
All right.
Yes.
So hello delegates. So you might not know, you may be knowing this, you might not know this, but the delegate of Germany and I, forming a, we're forming a block. And if you would like to join it, you can let me know on WhatsApp, or you can let the delegate of Germany know on WhatsApp, or you can just private messages here as well.
Are
We
you
will add,
okay?
yes, delegate of Ireland.
Yeah. No, no, I think it was delegate of Belgium. Belgium.
Yeah, what are your views?
Our views is basically we have not diplomatically claimed for the COVID-19 to be a biological weapon and have not made a statement as such, although we are looking for transparency on the matter.
That is our stance for our block. And we will add it to a WhatsApp group. We'll send a Google form as well, where you can give solutions and we might implement them in the draft resolution. And if you contribute a lot in that form, you will make you a sponsor as well. And if you be a sponsor for a draft resolution, like that fetches you extra points.
Okay,
Also,
now
we will make,
what if we divide the committee into two parts? I mean, some countries do say it's a biological weapon, and some say it's not.
we
So
will
Yeah,
make
but
rather,
block.
yes,
They
yes.
can form a
I
separate
think
they won't.
delegate of USA, right? Who's speaking
yeah.
currently? Yeah, so delegate of USA, as we know that you have some opposing views against the topic that we against our views. So then, yes, you might start your own block and you could go and start another block, and then you need signatories for it. So yeah, you might want to start now.
So again, I would let me state once more. We are forming a block, and if you want to join, we currently have 13 signatories. The more we have, the better. So if you want to join, just private message either me or the delegate of Germany on WhatsApp, or you can just private messages here on Zoom, and
Yeah,
we'll.
and opposing views as ours. Yeah, then we will not be considering situations and solutions that will oppose the views supported by New Zealand and Germany. So just saying, before you join, please keep that into consideration.
Okay, so delegates, all of those countries who think, I mean, not your opinion, but your country's opinion to be, I mean, you consider COVID-19 to be coronavirus to be a biological weapon. You can probably raise your hands or something, please, so that at least I have a count.
Yeah, I say corona was a biological weapon.
Any other country? Okay, and I mean, it's probably better if you do that. You know, if we have two blocks, there might be a little bit of competition and the committee will move further. So just
Yeah, I
Yes,
think that's a good
boring.
idea.
Boring
You
when you have only one block in the committee, because then there's one block, one DR is presented, one DR is presented, and then it might pass or fail. It's really boring. So it's better if we have two blocks, two draft resolutions that compete against each other.
but for a
exactly.
block to be present, I think we need.
And also it also gives you a healthy competition as well as you get to answer and question each other's points, and over there is the most fun part since you get to have a debate and like a change
Yeah.
of view.
Delegates, I'm sorry to interrupt, but all I wanted to say that if you're forming two blocks, you will need a significantly amount of more people
Exactly.
for the, so just keep
Yeah,
that in.
there's only two.
Yeah, I want to know, delegates, just let's not focus over quantity of that block. Just focus over the stance of your nation, not your personal opinion, but your nation. Because you aren't supposed to, go against your foreign policy, and I hope you know marks are cut for that. So if your nation says that coronavirus was actually it's a form of biological warfare, then you actually need to come to this block, if that's your view.
Yes, that is true. So that's what I also expressed earlier. Whoever is with our view, please come here. Whoever is stating something like, "Oh, we should first, no, no, China is this," then you should go with the delegate of USA.
If you think that China has done the dirty, then sure you may go and join USA's bloc. If you think that they've made a biological weapon, or if
I mean,
if
it's what your nation thinks. It's your personal opinion. Actually, you represent your nation. So even if your personal opinion might vary, but still, if your nation supports that, then you have to be in the bloc because you know about
And
the foreign policy and all.
and delegates understand this.
Yeah, otherwise there won't be two blocks then.
Yeah, delegates understand this. USA, New Zealand, and I are in different blocks, but yet we want there to be two blocks. So that can show you how good the competition and how healthy it is for the entire committee to have two blocks, since it will allow for people to oppose, will allow for the draft resolution to get better. So this shows you there is no harm in being in another block, and there is no point of not having two blocks.
Okay, Canada. What about you? What's your view?
oh, Canada is already with us.
Okay, and what about Malaysia?
They're with
Actually,
us
I
too.
am, yeah, I was one of the first ones with them.
Okay,
Okay.
yeah.
Mm,
Okay.
Even
Colombia.
even I was with you guys, but like I didn't know you guys were you guys were like not using China of it, so I'm actually on the other side.
Yeah, so
All right,
actually,
that's fine. We'll leave our WhatsApp group and we'll
Do you
immediately.
think that coronavirus is a biological weapon in Sri Lanka?
No, but like it's not my opinion. I need to support the country's opinion.
Yeah.
yeah,
So does the
exactly.
country think so?
What?
Belgium, what about your country? Does Belgium think it's a biological
Your
weapon?
country.
My country does. My country does. So that's why I'm
Exactly.
on
Okay,
the
guys,
side.
let's not talk about personal opinions. Let's talk about the opinion of your nation. So if I say my nation wants this, then that's what. So Sri Lanka, your nation actually thinks it's a biological weapon, so you need to shift blocks, okay?
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm
because
doing.
and Germany has completely opposing views. Now, Belgium, if you believe that okay, it is a biological weapon, then you should join the bloc made by USA. Guys,
Yeah, I'm in their blog only.
one by one, please give your views as yeses or
Yeah.
nos. Okay, I'm
What about
gonna call
yeah?
out each name. Uh, I just want them to say yes or no to whether their block, whether they think that biological weapons are
Yeah.
COVID-19 is a biological weapon. So, France, what's your opinion?
My opinion is I'll go with the USA. Uh, as my
Yeah, yeah,
country.
okay. Yeah, just state this कि किस block के साथ है, fine. So France, Belgium, Sri Lanka. Okay, and what about
Malaysia,
Bangladesh?
Malaysia is with us. Malaysia
Yeah,
is one of the strong contenders. New
Bangladesh.
Zealand is
Um,
obviously with us. United
Delegate of Germany. I think we should go one by one on the list.
Yeah,
So,
just a second.
so
I'll
we can start from the
So
top.
I'm going one by one only. Guys, so France. Okay, so France expressed he wants to be with USA. Belgium expressed they want to be with USA. Malaysia expressed they want to be with us. New Zealand is with us, obviously. USA in the other block. Bangladesh, what's your opinion?
Bangladesh is with us.
Oh yeah, Bangladesh is with us. Canada
Okay,
is with us.
delegate of Germany. Then we should go in order from the matrix. So,
I have.
Okay,
should,
sure. You want to
What
go in?
about Thailand?
yeah,
Yeah, one second. Thailand, we're just calling out your name. Would the delegate of New Zealand like to do this?
all right. So I think we should just start from the top.
Yeah.
So we'll start with the delegate of Colombia. What is your stance on COVID-19 being a biological weapon?
We do not believe that COVID-19 is considered a
Then would you
biological.
join up? Then that means you would be
The
part of our
bloc
bloc, right?
delegate from Colombia, welcome to the bloc formulated by New Zealand and Germany.
Delegate
Okay.
of Germany, please send them all the details, WhatsApp group link and stuff like that.
Yeah. Delegate of Colombia, I'm sending you a link for the WhatsApp group. Please join via that.
All right. Delegate of Finland.
Yes, thank you.
Delegate of Finland.
We do not believe that the corona is a biological weapon.
All right.
Very
So then welcome to our block then.
yeah, sure. I'm sending you a link. One sec.
Wait, what's the stance of Finland? They believe it's a biological weapon?
No, they don't.
You don't
Okay.
believe the weapon.
All right. So the next person in the list is the
Why
delegate of
don't you
Hungary.
just send the links publicly and ask everyone to join whoever they support?
No. I am going to send it publicly, and then I just want you guys to just say whoever is in our blog, just join via this link, okay? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna post it on Zoom, and I'm gonna name it Block One Group Chat.
Oh, okay. So while he's doing that, I'll move down the list. Delegate of Hungary.
I hope New Zealand, you're noting down which countries in which block, right?
Yeah. I'm putting that down. Delegate
I
of
have
Hungary.
Hungary does not believe that the COVID is a biological weapon.
Perfect. So we'll invite you to our block.
Hungary, okay, whoever's okay, after this, New Zealand's gonna display a list, okay, and whoever's name is inside block one, I've put a WhatsApp link in the chat. Please join through that. I would highly suggest USA to do the same as well.
Yeah, we'll do that. Just let me at least have a count of people. I mean, we're just three. So three with a
Or
blog with no point.
delegates, sorry to interrupt again. I'm sorry to interrupt, but yeah. So while you're dividing yourself into blocks, firstly keep in mind your foreign policy, and also another point you should note is that keep in mind your relationship with the United States of America, what contributions they have made, what power they have. So before, a lot of countries tightly, if you feel that you depend on the United States of America, just keep that into consideration. However, I understand that New Zealand's block and Germany's is the neutral block, but just keep that in mind before you make a decision. Thanks.
Jamaica. What is your stand? I think Jamaica is not here. I'm pretty sure they're not here. Yeah, they're not here. Okay. So going down to Norway is already in our block. New Zealand, that's me. Germany is there. Nigeria is already there in our block. France is with USA. Delegate of Pakistan. Pakistan is also not here. Delegate of Malaysia is with us. Belgium is with USA. Delegate of Jordan. What is your stance on COVID-19 being a biological weapon?
I think it's a biological weapon.
So
No,
Jordan,
what does your country think?
yeah,
What does your country think?
Jordan,
It
your
thinks
country.
it's a biological weapon.
All right,
Okay,
so then go on to
you
USA's block. USA, you
go.
may write down your name.
Yeah, done.
Right, move to the list. Delegate of Netherlands, who I believe are not here. Okay, Netherlands is not here. Delegate of Sri Lanka is already gone to USA. Canada is already with us.
Just a second. Delegate. Okay, fine. Okay. Moving on.
Delegate of Indonesia. Who do you think COVID-19 is a biological weapon developed by China or USA or whoever?
Yeah.
Delegate of Indonesia.
Yes.
So, yes,
Okay,
it
so
is.
Indonesia, you should go with the USA block.
Yeah.
Delegate of Australia is not here in committee. Delegate of Afghanistan is also not here in committee. Delegate of Bangladesh is already with us. After Bangladesh, delegate of Switzerland is not there in committee. Delegate of Turkey is with us already, I believe. Delegate of Turkey is
Yes.
there with us. And delegate of UAE is already there with us, I believe. Delegate of UAE is there. Moving to delegate of Uruguay is not here with us. No, he's not there in the block.
I'm here. I'm here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so
Okay,
what
so
is your
what's your stance?
thinking about is coronavirus a biological weapon or not?
Belgium, can you let New Zealand take the roll call? Because then
Yeah,
if
yeah.
too many, then it will be
Delegate
too.
of Uruguay, do you think that COVID-19 is a biological weapon? If not, then you can join our block.
Yes. Yes.
All
It is a
right. So then,
biological
I
weapon.
think it's yes. Then you should go to the USA block.
Okay.
Alright. So that was the delegate of Uruguay. Moving on to delegate of Thailand, who we don't have. Wait, yeah, we have Thailand. Never mind. Delegate of Brazil is here. Delegate of Brazil. Do you think COVID-19 is a biological weapon or not? Delegate of Brazil. Delegate, are you there? All right. It doesn't seem like delegate of Brazil is responding. So delegate of United States of America.
I
Oh,
think
wait, yeah,
yeah.
no, that's not a problem.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
New Zealand,
Yeah,
can
okay,
you
that's the list.
in the chat, in the general chat?
So these are the
I'll read out the names, and then if anyone has any objections, just please
people who are part of our block. They're not a, there'll be a signatories as well.
Okay, guys,
Just
another thing. Just a second. One more thing. Okay, so people who are in my blog and the people who are in New Zealand's and Germany's blog, I hope you guys know you can be signatories to both the draft resolutions as well. As in, you can sign in for both of them, but you cannot be a sponsor for both of them. I mean, if you're a sponsor, you can't vote for the other one, but you can be signatories to both the blogs.
yeah,
Fine. So
that's
I
point I
hope you
think
know.
to
for us,
mention.
delegate
I
of
think
United States. Would you like to would you like to be a signatory for us?
no, but she can't because
No,
she's already what do we call it?
Oh,
She's
if
she's
I'll
a sponsor.
sponsor my dear,
and nor
I won't be able to be a
can
signatory
and
to
nor can we be a signatory for them because we're already sponsors for the other block. So yeah.
exactly. But the people who are present in your blog can be signatories for my DR as well.
Yeah, so guys, just
Right.
saying, New Zealand, can you post the like the list in the chat?
All right.
So if
The
you're a
block list.
so what's the difference between like somebody being the sponsor and somebody being like the
Yeah, I got
signatory?
your question. So basically, in a signatory, you want the draft resolution, basically the resolutions that were put forward to be discussed. But as a sponsor, it means you've made contributions and you're like one of the biggest contributors, and you're going to be the ones presenting the draft resolution to the EB. So yeah, that's the main difference. And another
I'll be
thing,
the signatory only. I'm okay as that. What I am
what?
right. I don't want to be a sponsor. I was just like asking about it.
And
Okay, so
one more thing, countries who have neutral opinions, I want you guys to know that United States of America is a P5 nation. So you probably, some of you already depend on it. So you probably need to make a wise decision because you know
yeah,
how.
okay. United States, I'm going to, yeah, and let's just not keep it as that. But anyways, yes. Okay, I'm
I
going.
want to point out, Germany is a
Yeah,
P5, I believe.
Germany is quite a big nation in
Germany
terms.
is also really big,
Yes,
so
it is.
that is not a
Just
problem.
saying, Germany is one of the. It is actually the highest donor to the WHO this year and last year, I think also.
But
So
I
it
think you
has
know what
a valid
would be
contribution.
life nation is probably because we have the veto power. So any
How does
one wrong
Germany?
decision
Anyways, let's not
Uh,
get New Zealand and
Delegate of
Germany
the United
quite
States of
close.
America, I'd like to have a look at the 10 million cases you have in your country.
Yeah,
Your country
and
is
New
the number
Zealand.
one place for COVID-19 cases, and meanwhile in New Zealand, We've handled COVID-19 really well.
whilst Germany is one of the lowest death rates and one of the lowest per million cases in the entire in like most of Western Europe, and is doing much remarkably better than
I don't think right now the point is about cases. It's probably about cordiality between nations, no? US
so
is actually a really close trading partner with Canada, and Canada also needs to make a wise choice here on inclining towards either of them because some nations are just neutral. So Canada, I
On
would
this,
like
I
you to
agree
think
with the
once
delegate
again
of
regarding your
US
stance.
because Canada and
Exactly.
USA
Even
kind of.
UAE, probably even you are neutral and you also have good relations with God. You might think twice about
I would like to repeat Canada, UAE. You don't necessarily need to go into her blog, but if you are really dependent on USA, then yes, I might would. I mean, even I would suggest to keep your foreign relations stable. Either way, now I'm going to name out the sponsors for Block 1 is New Zealand and Germany. Then the signatories include Nigeria, Colombia, Finland, Hungary, Italy, Ireland, Iceland, Malaysia, Turkey, Bangladesh, UAE, Canada, and Norway. So anyone
Thailand.
having obligation against
Also members of our block, which means you guys can contribute to our draft resolution. So you guys are members of the
it.
block.
Canada, still, delegate of Canada, can I have you here?
Yes.
Yeah,
I
I want
totally
to
agree
think
the fact that I totally agree the fact that Canada and US have good relations and the fact that Canada is dependent on US somewhat.
somewhat, okay, it's not somewhat. You might want to
United
correlate.
States, please don't undermine a country. Please don't undermine a country. It does have a right to reply, and that can be taken over when the EB is here. So please do not undermine a country, and please talk
Delegate, I'm
from.
not undermining, I'm just asking her stance that when if she I'm just trying to convince, I mean I have no issues. Yeah, delegate of Canada.
Yes, so as I said, I agree to the fact that we are, but I would like to take some time and give it a second thought.
Yeah, so you just let me know, fine. And delegate of
Yeah,
Italy,
sure.
Delegate, remember, if even if you don't go in USA's block, it won't break ties between you and USA.
Yeah, it's
it
just
won't how US
Delegate of
handles it.
US.
It's just relations might be a bit iffier, but ties obviously won't be taken. And delegate of Italy, I hope you know United States is one of your most important trading partners. So you might want to think twice before choosing a block. And I think your situation, I mean, we can really help you with your situation as well. Delegate of Italy.
Delegate of USA.
Yeah.
I just wanted to tell you that actually UAE is not that dependent on USA. Though I
yes.
agree that
Yeah, I'm
USA and UAE do share a trade and investment relationship, but
yeah.
in that both of them depend on each other mutually. It's not like UAE depends more on US, and in the
UAE,
terms of
United Delegate. I know I'm aware about the fact about our mutual dependence, but it's just right now when your country has no stance, you might want to think about your future advantages. I mean, obviously, being with a P, I'm not saying that there might be a disadvantage to your nation, but being with a P5 nation obviously has a difference than, rather than inclining towards the other bloc. So if you're neutral, you might want to think twice about it. And let's not here talk about quantity of people on either side of the block because, anyways, at the end, voting stance is going to be you guys only, and you might vote for both or you might not vote. So that's different. But just focus on the quality and the advantage faced by your nation, not by your,
in
current.
terms of you were saying about the advantages, yes, I
Yeah.
agree that if UAE does come in a block with the USA, it would benefit us. but we could like do without the benefit also, because
Yeah,
UAE
but
has
do you
been
think it's better for your
recovering
nation
like
having the
quite a
benefit
bit,
or
plus like quite well through, they've been dealing with COVID-19 quite well. So I think that
but
it's
I'm just
not really.
asking normally, what do you think your nation is better? Don't you think it's better for your nation to have a benefit in being with one block and rather than just staying with the other with no benefits?
Just before this,
Okay, delegates, please wrap up. Please wrap up. You've already lapsed your time. Just take
okay,
one or
so
two more minutes.
one thing I would like to say before this goes on again, the thing used by USA, oh, you should be part of a P5 country. I would also like to mention Germany is also P5 plus one country. So I would not say that is any validity against our nation as well. And New Zealand, I mean, look at it. It's an example for the entire globe to how to fight with COVID 19. And where are we? In a WHA, World Health Assembly, on whether COVID 19 is a biological weapon. I would say New Zealand and Germany are quite strong contenders currently, having dealt with the virus so well. So before USA says that, oh, I am a P5 country, can
Another,
I point
sorry,
out that Germany is also a P5 plus one country. So,
guys,
yes.
another thing here, let's concentrate on the future as well. I mean, COVID-19 has already happened, but the prevention of biological weapons, a statement was made that in order to prevent war, you have to be ready for it. Now, which country do you think actually has the funding to prepare you and to keep you safe? I mean, obviously, a P5 country will have more credibility, no? So just think about it and then join the block. And
So I
delegate is
Yeah.
not about undermining anyone. I'm just
In
giving
terms
my
of funds, yes, USA has more, but in terms of like
and they too.
the ways and stuff, so we know that how well New Zealand is doing. So of course they would have some way, if even if they don't have as much funds, they would have some way of like doing
Obviously,
so
but
good.
which country do you think it will depend on for funds?
USA talking about funds, the
All
Germany
right, delegates.
contributed more to the COVID-19 situation than USA. So it is not like the funds are missing. It is
I'm
just
talking in terms of the future. I mean, you
Okay,
have to be
delegates,
prepared.
delegates. That's
but
that's it. You have got enough time for lobbying. So I guess everybody does have a clear stance now. Which block do they wish to side to? Before we go on, USA, can I ask you a question?
Yes, ma'am.
A very simple question. If your neighborhood is on fire, are you going to save your own house first, or are you going to save your neighbors?
My own house
Just
first.
perfect. Okay. So,
And obviously,
all right, never
because
mind.
I'm USA, the protection of my citizens come first, no matter what. So I think it's pretty clear.
Right. So this was in regard to the funding point, but anyway, so that was an end to your unmoderated caucus delegates. Now we would just revert back to the GSL because we have to, as per the mandate, we would be taking not more than one GSL speech, or maybe two, and then we would be looking for points in motion, and that's when we are expecting a motion for adjournment. All right.
Yeah.
So reverting back to the GSL, delegate of New Zealand,
Yeah.
you have the floor, delegate.
All right. Thank you, EB, for the recognition. New Zealand is one of the countries with the best response to COVID 19, and New Zealand is keen to share the measures they've taken to avoid the spread of the virus. Firstly, New Zealand set up the National Health Coordination Center in order to respond to the outbreak in New Zealand. New Zealand suggests countries to go along the same lines and establish task forces such as the NHCC in their respective countries. This is where the funding factor comes in. Funding can be done in three ways. Firstly, the government, secondly, the United Nations, and lastly, crowdfunding. These three methods can help collect funds in order to establish a task force such as the NHCC in other countries. This is the most important factor to contain the spread of the virus. Another point which New Zealand would like to touch on is the safety of our citizens. New Zealand would like to establish a binding wherein if a certain amount of people in a country or a certain percentage are affected by a virus, the country must go on a lockdown as a legal binding. Social distancing should be made a must in all countries, and not maintaining it should be a punishable offense. And also, reverting back to reverting back to the USA's point, the amount of funds you have doesn't matter. The amount of funds you contribute to the United Nations matter, to WHO, and Germany is winning over there. They've contributed the most funds. Thank you.
Thank you, delegate. You have roughly 10 seconds left, so how would you like to yield it?
Can I yield to another delegate? Delegate
Yeah.
of Germany, can you speak?
All right. Delegate of Germany, you have the floor for the next 10 seconds.
So, as the delegate of UAE mentioned, Germany is currently one of the highest donors towards the WHO and has taken comprehensive steps towards solving the COVID 19 issue. It has ramped up its international and foreign relations through helping in economic stances as well as social stances. And another thing I would like to mention, Germany is a P5+1 country and has immense power over the current situation, and it's taking steps towards helping in solving the issue of biological weapons. Thank you.
One thing, delegate of Germany, we actually know you are a P5G country and you've said it multiple times. So if you repeat it more times, it actually doesn't matter that much.
All right, thank you.
Exactly. All right. Okay. So next, delegate of USA, ma'am, you have the floor for the next 90 seconds.
Somebody was trying to speak, but most of us won't be able to hear them, I think,
Am I
because
audible? I'm sorry. It's my turn, right? Yeah, am I audible?
Yes, ma'am. Go on.
Okay, thank you. China began the pandemic suffering a setback to its global prestige, and by June, they had squandered its chance to at least partially recovery. But to be sure, there were many tensions which intensified in several China-related hotspots. One of the main strategic advantages that China came up with was that the same month, a widely circulated report said that Beijing had decided to seize Taiwan held Paradise Islands and would prepare with military drills in August, simulating on ambitious assaults. So they actually kind of used it to their advantage. So I would like to really point this out and more analyze and more put more emphasis on the fact that they did have an advantage. Secondly, also in May, the Chinese government indicated that it would impose a national security law upon Hong Kong, which would reduce their civil liberties by abrogating Hong Kong's legal autonomy from China in a violation of a treaty Beijing signed with the United Kingdom. Another thing, in the Galwan Valley, Indian troops stood up to Chinese pressure. So, as a result, a serious skirmish broke out, resulting in the death of 20 soldiers, in unconfirmed reports of an average, even higher number of Chinese fatalities. So, among the negative consequences from Beijing are a pullback of some Indian economic engagement with China and movement by now. So, in conclusion, China is actually using it as an advantage to themselves and it might have been pre planned. That's all I would like to say. Thank you.
Perfect. Delegate, you will elapse your time, so we won't be taking any yields. At this point, we're looking for points in motion. So, are there any points on the floor, delegate?
Point of parliamentary inquiry.
Yes, sir.
When how many signatories do we need for a DR to be presented in committee, and what are the max number of sponsors for a draft resolution?
Right. So, see, as far as the signatories are concerned, it has to be two-thirds majority of the committee. You can have You can be a signatory to more than one draft resolution. However, you can only be a sponsor to one. And as far as our sponsors are concerned, I guess we can entertain 2 to 3 sponsors in a DR, not more than that.
So maximum three.
Perfect. Any more points on the floor, delegates?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am. Go ahead.
A point of order. I think my name was recognized for the GSL, but it was not called out.
Ma'am, again, it was after UAE. Your point was USA UAE, and you did raise the same point of order when we established the GSL last time, and again told you the same thing that see at this point we were supposed to end the committee at 5:30, so it anyhow did not make sense to take more GSLs. So tomorrow when we are starting with the GSLs, you would be the first speaker.
Okay.
So that point of order does not stand in order. Any other points, delegate? Seeing none, are there any motions on the floor? At this point, we are looking for a motion to adjourn the committee for the day.
Actually, I have one question. So how can we confirm that what's gonna be the timings tomorrow? Because I really want to know right now because I have to prepare.
It is on the
It's the
WhatsApp.
same
Schedule was given to
timings,
us.
delegate. I guess the itinerary was shared on the group.
Yeah,
Because
delegates,
And
it's
it's on
on.
even on Facebook.
Yeah, delegates, it starts at 12:30 tomorrow and ends at 5:30. The closing ceremony ends at 5:30.
If
because
I
we
Right.
sessions are
So
1.
basically, the session is from 12:30 to 4:30. And considering you guys have two blocks and two different draft resolutions forming, if you want to go for a clause by clause discussion on both the draft resolutions, I guess we can do that. So yeah, okay. So are you guys very informally, since you guys took an unmod, are you guys planning to take a moderated caucus tomorrow?
Uh, yeah, I am.
Yeah.
I just have one topic in mind
We'll
for
discuss.
moderated caucus.
I think we're gonna do an unmod because that would be like more beneficial to discuss, I think.
All
Delegates,
right.
Maybe we
we could
can
also
do, or
do a
maybe we
mod.
can do it.
I think we can do a
We'll discuss
response
on the
to
WhatsApp.
COVID because we haven't done that yet.
I agree with the delegate of Iceland. We need to do that urgently, and after that we
Yeah.
can have a mod, and then we can probably present a DR.
Okay,
If
so
we do
what
a
you
like
can do is,
response,
delegates, wait a second, wait a second. What you can do is, your first committee session tomorrow is from 12:30 to 2. So we'll take a couple GSLs in that time. We'll take one moderated caucus. I guess that would be fine. And then if we wrap up before 2, you guys can break for your lunch. Then up until 2:30, till whenever the mod caucus ends, up until 2:30, you can have a joint break slash unmod where we would request you to prepare your draft resolutions. And then from 2:30 to 4:30, which is the committee session 6, we can have discussion on both the DRs because I guess it would take a little bit of time. So I think we can do that.
Okay.
I agree. Yeah, we can do that. That would be easier.
Yes, me too.
And
Me too.
guys, all of the people of my blog, I posted the link on the group. Please join.
Yeah,
Uh,
same for the
Okay.
delegate.
Yeah,
Only.
and just, you know,
Perfect.
write out your points.
Delegates. We are not in unmod right now. Anyway, just raise a motion for adjournment, and after that you can discuss if you want to. So we'll take the motion from the delegate of Turkey.
Delegate of Turkey would like to end the formal debate and adjourn the conference
Okay, you don't adjourn the
till tomorrow.
conference because you adjourn the committee for the day. Anyway,
Okay.
that motion would be in order. Delegates, are there any seconds to the motion? Please verbally say second.
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 Seconds.
Can you repeat the
Second.
motion?
Second.
Delegate of Belgium. The motion is adjournment of the committee for the day. Okay. So add any second to the motion.
Seconds.
Second.
Seeing seconds. Any opposition delegates? Any? Any? Seeing none, this motion passes. This unanimously passes. The committee has been adjourned. If you want, you guys can stay back, take like 5 to 10 minutes unmod, like a very informal unmod. If you want to discuss what you want to do tomorrow, but that would be it from our side. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Okay, guys.
It's just 1 second. See, the thing is, since I know both of the blocks don't agree on their views, but both the blocks do want both the DRs to be discussed, right? Even Germany and New Zealand want
Yes.
the DR. Yeah. So, okay, so make sure that you have signatories on both resolutions, because signatories solely means that you just want the resolution to be discussed. It doesn't mean anything more than that. So, because otherwise, if you don't have 2/3 of the committee as a signatory, the resolution cannot be discussed.
Well, I suppose United States did support Iceland a lot, and they got independent.
Yeah.
Delegates
Okay.
from a
I'm
country.
suggesting be a signatory to both the blocks if you're unsure about your relations with any of the countries. I mean, it's totally fine. At the end, it's
Yeah,
just your
Delegate of
vote. So,
Iceland. I'd
Yeah,
like to
guys,
remind you.
overall, it's a model United Nations. It's not really for competing with each other, but it's for for the experience basically of the MUN.
exactly. Yeah, that's what I'm
yeah,
saying. You
I'm
can
going.
be signatories to both
Actually, I'll go
blocks.
for both because I'm unsure.
Like delegate
Me
Yeah,
of
too.
South
I
I'll
Africa.
go
think
for
I'll go for
both.
both because, like, I even searched, like, I researched, but
On Google?
nothing really came in specific about, like, the relation of UAE, though it was that they have good relations, but there was no such thing that UAE
Yeah.
believes in COVID-19 being a biological weapon. So
Okay, UAE,
I
can I
think,
just suggest something? What I was trying to do right here was actually lobbying. I mean, at the end, it's completely your choice to be on either side of the block. I'm just suggesting that if we want both the draft resolutions to be discussed, even my block should have as many signatories as the other one has, so that both are discussed. You know, mine might vote out just. So if
okay,
you're
Just
I'd
a
like to
question.
join your blog.
Okay, guys,
I'll
I
join.
sent a link, you can join
it's
both.
getting late. I think
Okay,
we all.
thanks.
I believe it's getting very
I'll
late.
join both.
Yeah, delegates, I think we should be leaving now. We'll continue this discussion tomorrow
Uh,
on WhatsApp group.
Yours, could you please like send the link or something? I need to. I
Yes.
can just be a
Delegate
Yeah,
of
on the
signatory
USA,
WhatsApp
could you
group.
please
vote.
send it
Yeah,
on the WHA WhatsApp
I've
group?
sent the link for the news block by New Zealand and Germany on the main chat. You can join there.
I have shared the link. Any of you who are interested can join. If it's also fine if you're in both groups. But you
Delegate of
can just
USA, I can't really find your link on the chat, so could you send it again?
So can
I've sent it.
Delegates, listen up for a second. So usually, before the last day of an MUN,
Okay,
you start
students,
your
I
block.
am. It's over. I'm closing the link. You can move out on a different link. Join again if you want to continue the conversation. Okay. Thank you. Bye bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
bye.